What's up, everybody? So many shows, so many shows.com, so many mashups. This is Mike, this is Pete, this is Paradise, season 2, episode 7. And as Mike likes to say, Pete, I hope you have a lot of theories. What's up, Mike?
Not too much. I know that you've watched a lot of videos and stuff like that because this is one of those type of shows where you kind of have to dive in episode to episode to figure out what the heck is going on.
It's you know what it is. I'll explain it, and I'm sure I'm not the only person that goes through this with shows. I went through this with Lost, Dark Matter. There's those shows that make you think in your mind, and what happens is that so like I'm watching the episode and I'm like, all right, I think it's this. However, there's some plot holes here. How could this be this if this isn't this, and how could be this if this isn't this? Then you go and you just throw in the background a video and you're listening to a YouTube video of somebody else's theory who is similar to yours, but they have the other holes that you missed filled in.
Yep.
So
Yes.
now you're like, all right, wait a minute. If I just tweak this a little bit, this a little bit, this a little bit, okay, this is the theory. This is what it is. And you figure it out like that. So it's kind of like a brain session. Like, but I just, you can't get everybody in the room at the same time to discuss the show. I mean, I wish you could, but that's a chat
Yep.
room and this is an AOL. So
Yes.
we should start a new AOL chat room called Paradise. I mean, I'm sure Facebook has chat rooms, but whatever. Everything's a group chat now. And
Yeah.
I hate group chats. I thought chat rooms were better.
Or group pages they got now. Like I got the box
Yes.
set and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't need to join something. Like maybe I just want to jump in, talk to people for a half an hour and then leave and not,
Yep.
and just, I miss AOL. So anyway, I told you that this reminds me a little bit of like an episode of The Twilight Zone that I seen and I actually to watch it called The Man in the Cave.
Yes.
Now, did you understand what I meant after you seen it?
Yes, I did. It's
And did you think I was on point with that?
I think you're onto something. Yes, definitely.
So that was interesting. And we all know how the Twilight Zone episode ended, right? The man in the cave was right the whole time.
Oh, yes, sorry. I
What
thought
is
you were asking like everybody knew the ending or something. I misunderstood. Yes, I understood that. Yes.
so it's just like now, I mean, I guess the real question was for that I have from the episode, the final countdown, which brought a lot of our old favorites back, including the old president or the first president of the show,
Yes.
Alex, person or AI?
Definitely AI.
Okay. Now, why?
First and foremost, it's really buried in the bunker. Sinatra had to take a train and walk through a huge tunnel thing that I think we see Link and Xavier in these flashes throughout the season. I think that was the same tunnel area that Sinatra was walking. So I don't see a person being down there for as long as it's been, the 3 years without some kind of, food delivery system or water something, it's like unless it's being delivered by people throughout the times or throughout the development of the bunker and everything. Plus, like you had mentioned in that episode before, whatever this Alex entity is, it reached out to somebody back in 1997 through emails and stuff like that to try to stop Jane back in the day or whatever. And it's like I see it more of being an entity or AI than a person.
So what about this twist? We mentioned that we are also could be in different timelines and
Yep.
different or right, different realities, different timelines. What if
Yep.
we are in the timeline that Xavier already came back with the baby and the baby was named Alex and the baby was
Oh.
kidnapped by Sinatra?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Hello, Alex. But Link, for some reason, knows that he has to go and kill Alex, his own baby.
Or if it's a different timeline, different parallel universe, it could be a grown up daughter, Alex.
Which, like I said, I heard a lot of theories. I was listening to one of the podcasts, and somebody was like, "Oh, the people are saying that Alex stands for Annie, Link, Enos, and Xavier." And I'm like, "That's what I said. That's what I
Yes.
said." So the person there, they said that the theory there, because I was curious of how they wanted to push that theory, because I didn't have a theory. I just figured it was just four people that were maybe time travelers or something weird, because they all had like similar situations. However, someone mentioned that the connections with Alex, being Annie, Link, Enos, and Xavier, the one connection was is that at one point they all died.
Okay.
So in one timeline they're dead, in the other timelines they're alive. So they're having, and that's what makes them part of Alex, which is whatever. And then the other people were saying that like maybe Alex, when the guy, the husband, when Billy came to kill the what was the guy's name, Henry Miller or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yep.
Yeah, when Billy came to kill him, he didn't kill his wife Alex.
Okay.
That he just put her on like a thing so they it looked like she was dead or whatever.
Okay. And
and
then,
and this was the plan they had the whole time. And then she woke up, but she's still sick. So, but she has these special powers to travel through time. So that's why Sinatra refers
Okay.
to Alex as a her.
Yep.
And when she walk in, lights go on, hello, Alex. She could be talking to somebody that's in some sort of state, or, maybe they're using that to treat the Huntington's disease. And, she's giving them
Interesting.
knowledge. And the idea is that Henry Miller and Alex were back in time a lot because remember he said we traveled and we had a good life, as
Yes.
if they went back in time and gave themselves a message. Hey, listen, travel because you're not going to have much longer.
Yeah, something that just flashed in my mind too. Maybe it's something kind of like Upload. If you ever watch, yeah, you watched Upload, right?
Yes.
Maybe her presence, her mind was uploaded to a computer system too, if it's not the actual person.
Or if you watch Fallout, maybe it's just Alex's head with all these
Oh, there you go. All the
connectors to it.
connectors to it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I remember what I had to say before too. So Alex, the Alex, what the other person's theory was is that because the writer is the same writer from This Is Us, that Annie, Link, Enos, and Xavier are four different timelines with four different characters, and then it's all going to come together somehow. And next season will be about those four characters based on the Alex effect. That those people have those four people who those decisions are going to be what helps fix the world, but they
Yeah.
don't know it yet. And
Okay.
that's how they're connected, and that's what creates Alex,
Yeah.
which would
Interesting.
make sense as far as like the acronyms with the names.
Yeah.
If that's the right word, I don't even know. Who knows? Who cares? But yes, so that was a couple of things that I saw, that she wasn't killed and that Alex wasn't killed and Alex was still alive. That she was just kind of like put in a state where it looked like she was dead. Yeah, that is a person or AI. Is it an advanced communication system, a quantum prediction equation thing?
Yes.
Either way, what are you trying to fix and how do you fix it? So, because in the trailer, which we haven't seen yet, which will come out this episode, but the trailer for the season, which is coming out in episode 8, remember she says it was never about the bunker?
Yeah.
So the other theory is that did they in fact build the bunker as a temporary Faraday cage while they perfect Alex, which is a course correction thing for the planet. So
Okay.
maybe that thing that the scientist said where he was like, oh, the world's gonna burn up again,
Yep.
maybe they were able to fix that. And back to my point, maybe that's what those storms were about.
Yeah.
And and if you're using a lot of power and electromagnetism for these storms, that would cause, say, a plane to crash, system failure with stuff like that. So did Alex has a course correction thing inadvertently, touch on Link, Annie, Enos for whatever reason. I mean, we don't know. Enos is the wild card here because he's the only person that starts with an E, but I feel like his role was very brief this year.
Yes. Definitely.
And even Annie, is the last scene going to be Annie alive?
Yeah.
Are they fixing? Are they course
Good
correcting
question.
stuff like that? So does is Alex quantum entanglement where where it can move in space and time and it pulled Link from a different reality
Yeah.
or a
I
different
mean, it's
universe?
crazy. I mean, there's all these theories, all these things it could be, and I mean, I'm hoping we get answers in the next episode. But at the same time, it's like, are we going to get those answers in the next episode? It's
And
just
that's
you
scary
don't know.
because you got to think they went to the writers and were like, this, they went to the network and was like, this is how season 2 ends. And we
Hmm.
have this plan for season 3 and we want to start filming. So can we get the go ahead for a renewed season so we can finish this thing the right way? If not, we have to change the ending of season 2 to this just in case.
Yes.
So this reeks of a cliffhanger. I was gonna say
Yeah.
hangover,
I
cliffhanger. Definitely.
definitely, I agree. It's going to be on a major cliffhanger, and they'll have to wait a year till we get some more answers and more
I
questions.
Now you never seen the TV show Lost, right?
No, I've only caught bits and pieces, so not.
Okay, so the whole thing is that Lost, that really it was like the ultimate mind fuck was that. So Lost used to always do flashbacks of people, of characters. So it'd be like, oh, this is this character's episode, and then you see like him as a kid and him as a teenager and him as an adult and how he became who he is, and now he's back on the island. And then there's one scene where you go and then you're going, wait a minute, there's no way these two people knew each other before, whatever. But spoiler alert for Lost. Stop listening right now if you haven't finished Lost yet. So at one point, like they're having a conversation like, "Yo, there's no way these two met before the island. It's impossible." And you find out at the end of the episode, and it was the end of like season 4, season 3. I forgot what the season was. And it was actually the first ever flash forward in the show,
Oh, okay.
where this was what happened 3 years after they got off the island. So you're
Okay.
like, "Oh my God, they got off the island." Now you had to wait the whole season to see how each person got off the island and who got off the island and how it happened. And then the show became like some people were on the island, some people were off the island, and it was just like
Interesting.
genius. It was
Yeah.
genius because it was the ultimate mind boggle. You wanted to just go online, listen to theories, and look to see, and I was big on it, during Lost. So I'm sitting there looking at, at one point they filmed one of the scenes, one of the final scenes in the episode, the final episodes, like somebody died and they didn't want to ruin it for the people because, there's always people, lurking around. So they filmed like four main characters in the casket.
Yep.
So you could sit there and say, "Oh, well, I saw this guy go in there. Well, the next day this guy went in there."
Yeah.
And they show you that they filmed four endings with the
Yep.
same guy this way, and you would be confused as to who's going to be whatever. So I
Yeah.
feel like this is going to be similar to that. We're going to get something like that. Also, Lost was famous for, oh my God, they were able to manipulate, the time travel thing, and they were able to move the island. Another theory is that Alex is going to be able to open up a portal and suck itself in, and the bunker is actually built to protect the interdimension through space and time, and it's going to bring through one reality to another, like it's a portal for the connection of the worlds.
Oh, okay.
And that Alex is actually the portal because now the bunker is oxygen deprived. There's no oxygen right now.
Yeah, it's under melt. It's going to be melting down or
Yes.
something like that because they were
So
trying to open the doors and they were trying to lock down
so half the doors are
bunker.
open, half the doors are closed. There's no oxygen throughout the whole place. So there's gonna be mass panic with people trying to, get out of there.
Yep.
Now what's going to end up happening is now she's going to take control and say, okay, here's the option. You either run outside and deal with the militia in the world and you die, get burned up, or you come into my super portal with me and we go to a whole new brave new world
Yeah.
where you can end the season with everybody jumping through the portal and then start the next season with where are they, who's there.
Yep. So then you kind of bring it into the show La Brea a little bit then too.
La
You
Brea, what was
ever
the other
watch
one?
that
Terra
one?
Nova. You ever see Terra Nova?
Oh, no, I haven't seen Terra Nova yet.
So Terra Nova, the whole concept was that the planet was dying and that they had to found a portal that took them to a different like land or a different planet, and it was like a green land, and they had to restart population, so they started sending people over,
Oh,
to check out to make sure it's like livable and the same, yeah, similar concepts. So
yep.
I'm really interested to see how like I said. The one thing that I like is that it's not predictable because there's not like, oh, well, there's obviously three things that are going to happen here. Like, no, there's a lot of different things that can happen.
Exactly. I mean, it's the opportunities are endless for what can happen in this next
Which
episode, nonetheless, another season.
finding it really hard to not try to wake up at midnight and wait for it just to come out just to watch it. Like I said, the problem with me is that like so in the morning, like I get up before I do anything, and I'm like having orange juice or coffee, whatever I want for the morning. I'm checking all my feeds and everything, and then all of a sudden now it's Monday morning, and because there are people who do have screeners and do set up their podcasts, so like okay, the show gets released at 3 a.m. So 3:01, my podcast and my article's going live
Yep.
because I want my article to be the first one seen, and we can relate because we try to do shit like that sometimes. It never works out, but we try,
Yeah.
and we don't even get screeners, people. So that's why we film these things so late. But anyway, who cares? We have fun. There's a mashup. It's not about that. Anyway, so yeah, as soon as I get up, like all my feeds is just like, oh, this happened, this happened. So if I don't want to be spoiled myself and I want to enjoy the show, luckily I work in the afternoon, so this way I can wake up in the morning and just get my coffee and put the show on,
Yes.
watch it, know what's going on, let it absorb for a minute, let the coffee kick in, then listen to my podcast, see my theories, and then rewatch the episode with
Hmm.
my new information. So that's like the way I do it. But it's interesting because, like I said, there's a lot of good theories out there. There's a lot of good podcasts out there. And honestly, one person was like, "This show is not like season one. I hate it. I'm not watching it no more. This will be the last episode I
Yep.
cover. I'm out." And I was like, "All right, to each his own. But why'd you even make a video saying that?"
Yeah.
Like, why didn't you just not make the video no more and just bounce and just put like a note on you? If somebody went looking for your specific video of the show, you could put it, on the little banner, have a script says, I will not be covering this because I don't like it no more.
Yeah.
You didn't have to post a video that nobody cares about. So,
Yes.
Gary, they found him pretty simple,
Yep.
and he gave up pretty easy, kind of went a little bozo. Terry really cared about him as a friend and a person, and thought that overall Gary was good and not, and even forgave him for killing Enos in some
Yes.
sort. They let him go. What do you think about that? Do you think that was a smart move? You think Xavier should have took his ass out?
I think it was a smart play. I don't see Gary going to Colorado to try to chase him down anymore. Like Terry said, go out, find that special someone. I mean, the world's full of people that are just trying to survive now. So, I mean, obviously you can go out and find somebody new. I personally, I know, or when I was watching, I'm like, Gary's purposefully trying to make Xavier shoot him because he's looking, he's looking crazy. He's looks like he's about to attack Terry. So I think Gary wanted Xavier to take him out, but I think they did the right thing by letting him live and letting him live with his mistakes that he made.
So I thought for sure at one point I was like, is she gonna walk out with him and be like, he's coming with us, and it was gonna be like Gary, Xavier, Terry, and being his weird ass family,
Yeah.
some Uncle Jesse shit or whatever. Also, you mentioned something that Terry said to Gary that, oh, it's a new world, go exist, go find somebody. But don't we have prior knowledge or inside information that she doesn't, that the world is gonna come back twice as worse and kill everybody? They're gonna wish they were dead the first time.
I thought only Sinatra knew that. I don't know if Terry knew that or not.
So does Xavier know that?
I don't think Xavier knows that either yet. I don't
So
think he was privy to that
that's got
information
to be
either.
one of the big reveals then,
Hmm.
that the Earth is going to die even worse and blah blah blah. So yes, I would have shot Gary. A lot of people are saying that Xavier, if you really break down the episodes, like in last episode with the train, he was like flipping people over and ready to shoot somebody in the face no matter what. In this episode, he like let Gary live when he should have had multiple reasons to shoot. So is that a different Xavier through time?
Oh,
Are,
okay.
are we in two different timelines where one timeline Xavier's like a badass Secret Service guy who's now back at the bunker and whatever, and in this timeline he's still letting Gary live and making his way back to try to talk peace?
Yep.
What happens when, Link, who we now know is Dylan,
Yep.
who is probably not confirmed 100%, but probably Sinatra's son,
Definitely looks like it. Yes.
now that baby is Sinatra. I mean, not Sinatra, but another theory I read that they said is the baby, because it's a girl, is the baby Sinatra.
Oh, really? Okay.
So
So
like it's all weird.
so
Like,
many choices to go from.
yeah, I mean, honestly, it's like that'd be some really weird shit. The one thing that I thought was interested in, that the one theory that I went with, I only heard a couple people discuss it, so it wasn't like I'm the only one with this theory. But the baby is Jane,
Okay.
and you have to die in order to to occupy the same space and time through the time travel method. One person would have to die for the other person to be able to exist. It's the whole Back to the Future theory. You can't, be around your same self. Also, cause whatever those things called, the paradox or whatever.
Yep. Yeah.
So did Jane dying and leave in the bunker, so to speak, also leave bring to the arrival of Jane? Because we don't even know until Xavier gives the kid to Link, and then Link says, "I think I'm going to name her Jane,"
Yes.
without knowing who that Jane was just that crazy chick who came out, whatever, to negotiate. Unless, and the other another theory is that Jane and Link are brother and sister, and Link
Oh,
knows
okay.
it, but Jane doesn't.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Link seems to know a lot of stuff that's
Well,
going
he
on.
also broke down the apple pie. They said the apple pie was a test because he
Yep.
wanted to see if they were able to like produce the ingredients to make an apple pie. You would have to have specific things,
Yep.
and he was able to answer a question without having to ask a question.
Exactly. I mean, so Link is very knowledgeable of what's going on with that. He knows that there's nuclear reactors at the bunker. He wants one for their group. I don't know if that was a test either, too, or try to get to be able to see more of the bunker. I
And
mean,
it's weird because,
it's just
let
he
me just
knows a
cut you off.
lot.
I thought about this. If he knew that he could play, if he was going to play this game, that he was Dylan Sinatra's son, he would have played it off way more. Whereas he would have been playing the son card in to get what he wanted with Alex from
Yep.
Sinatra. He could have played so many other games.
Yes.
So you have nothing to gain doing that because you would have did it a different way. So why did you do it that way? Then it's like, okay, so maybe you are Dylan, but from a different timeline, which means you don't know. That's the only way you would know that Sinatra's not your mother.
Yeah.
You get what I'm?
Yeah,
And
no, it's crazy because and like I said, these nosebleeds that keep coming up. I mean, Sinatra got a nosebleed after she grabbed Dylan's by the arm to find out what his birthday was. So it's like, what do the nosebleeds play into all this stuff too? So it's like, oh man,
that's
so
what
many
that's what.
questions.
And then another theory was too, if you because it's in the trailer too, and it's also in the show. When the doors open up and Sinatra puts a hand out, there's like five different colors in a row, like kind of like a rainbow.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
you can if you go back and watch it, you can see, just pause it for a second. Like it's like, because there's dust and everything, and then you can see the
Yeah.
dust in the end, the colors, and there's like five different colors that go in a row.
Oh, okay.
And what they were saying is that's like the idea of like those are all like, so like it's each one of those moments, like Sinatra going outside, was already calculated by Alex through different space and times to predict what's the best outcome, and that it was safe for her to go outside and blah 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 blah.
Oh, okay.
Or was safe for her to put her hand there. And then they said that the relevance was is that when the hand was out and all the colors are coming out, those are all different timelines in quantum. That's the entanglement because this was a big decision made
Yeah.
in different realities that cause different effects in the future.
Wow. Okay.
So you can go down this rabbit hole. I mean, I just throw on my Raycons and just listen to shit, while I'm, cleaning, vacuuming, whatever I'm doing, I just have
Yeah.
it on in the background. So it's just good filler. It makes me think. I like it. I wish the show came out all at once, and I wish I could watch the last episode right now. But that those were some of the more in-depth theories I came up with. And like I said, I don't believe that Link is Dylan and Sinatra's son.
Oh,
There's
okay.
something
So you
else.
think that it's just
There's
an
a twist here
alternate?
somewhere, but I just don't
Okay.
know what it is. And I don't want to believe it's an alternate link. And I don't want to believe that he knows he's her son because then why would he not talk to her? So there's something else. I just don't know what it is yet. It feels off. So I want to see if I'm wrong. Maybe not. Maybe I am. But
Yeah. Well, plus it was also Sinatra's what is it? The her when she went home after finding out Dylan is Link or Link is Dylan, or at least has Dylan's name, she went home and practically, jumped on her husband
and said it
for
worked.
yeah, and said it worked, and then she's all randy and wants to get with her husband again, probably for the first time in a while, it looks like. So it's like, how did that attitude come about? It's like, so yeah, it's just so many questions. Hopefully, some of those questions get answered in the next episode. We don't know yet. I mean,
Like so I said, we
looking
have
forward
we,
to it.
we we broke down a lot of different scenarios in this episode. So basically, because we do cover the episode a little bit, it was more of like a flashback episode of when they were building the bunker and how there's a worst case scenario and nobody
Yep.
wanted to acknowledge the worst case scenario. And I mean, it's funny because I mean I think we've all done this at work at certain points. I mean, you when you're driving, you were probably like, well, what if the truck breaks down in this area and I can't do this here? And they're just like, oh well, that's never happened. And you're just like, oh great, now you
Yep.
just made sure that it's going to happen, and then
Exactly.
maybe it's not you down the road, God forbid, but somebody else in your company or somebody you've heard of is like, yo, remember that thing you said that would never happen? It
Yeah.
happened.
And it came from a guy that needed things dumbed down for him while they were doing the tour of the bunker. It's like,
Not even that. I mean, you building the bunker, but this is the president, right? They
yep,
should have, they should have, like I said, I felt like there was something interesting there that the fallout, and then supposedly the idea that it all happened by accident was the craziest part, that they all did everything at once.
yep.
Like they initiated the lockdown at the same time that they were breaking the oxygen. So it was like, and then whatever.
I know it's crazy.
So, there's a lot going on right now. We know that what was the end of the episode? It was just her talking to them. Yeah,
Yeah,
so then yeah, so
Sinatra saying hi
Sinatra
to Alex.
gets up
Yep,
after being with her husband and in a good mood. She goes, she puts in and said that there's a very important detail. So she takes a long ass train. There's, this thing separate, this area separated. So the other idea is that if more than one person knows who Alex is or what Alex is, was Alex moved
oh,
recently?
okay.
Because if you think about it, and this was a good point, Sinatra just took a train, got off the train, put on a coat, walked into a room, and was just like, "Hey, Alex," and there was no security guards, there was nobody there whatsoever.
Yep.
So either Sinatra's the only person who knows about Alex, which is kind of hard to believe because she had to have people work with her on it,
Hmm.
or it was in, a more secure area and they had to move it because they were afraid that the militia's being here. Let's get Alex out of the way because the militia's going to come looking for Alex because they know what's going on. Because we do know that Sinatra does answer to somebody else above her, right? That's still a
Yep.
thing.
Definitely. She definitely has to answer to somebody above her.
Which could also be the other twist we're not seeing yet, that they're trying to blind us with, like, hey, look at all this Alex bullshit, blah, blah. Maybe Alex is the big boss.
Hmm.
So and Alex is gonna turn around and have fucking 16 armed guards around him, and Alex is a dude, and he's just like, yeah, what's up?
Yep.
Is our plan working? Like, let's fucking go kill somebody. Like, yeah, good job. And
Exactly.
she doesn't put on a white lab coat, which would indicate like a hospital. She puts on a blue one.
Yep.
So, why do you need a blue coat for? And it was a heavier
Technology.
coat. Also, somebody broke down that, oh, the coat was a thicker coat. So if you're putting on a thicker coat, does that mean that it has to be cold? That would involve, a giant freezer using all that energy from the bunker to cool down, the atoms and everything, whatever bullshit, crazy nuclear fusion computer you got going that's predicting motherfucking shit or going back in time or whatever it's doing.
Yep, exactly.
So
All right.
yeah, so basically, yeah, so the president asked a bunch of questions like he's 5 years old, and then yeah, he predicted the end of the thing, and that's where we were at. What did you think? Anything?
Well, I had a question for you from the episode. I don't know if this is where, or if you had a question similar, but when the Dr. Gabriella
Uh,
Tarabi, I did not see Jane going after her in this episode. I thought maybe if there were something, we'd see it later down the road, even in this third season. But so the question I had was the dreams that kept waking Dr. Tarabi up, were those parallel universes of visions that were coming to her, but we didn't see her with any nosebleeds. So I was just kind of curious if you thought that same thing too.
I didn't right away, but somebody did mention that in the theory that her
Okay.
having the recurring dreams was basically her that going down different ways in different timelines, which caused her to be paranoid and get the jump on her because she's a murderer now, like a real murderer. We
Well,
also know
self-defense. It's
we
self-defense.
we also know that Sinatra, her maid or her housekeeper, whatever it is, was the one that was saying everything's in place, everything's working well. So she was involved in stuff too,
Yep.
and we haven't seen her.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
how many questions are going to remain unanswered
I
at
know
the end of this
it's
episode?
there's
There's only one left.
so much to cover in one episode, but obviously we know they're greenlit for a third season and they're working on it now, but
The
man,
idea somebody else had, which is we'll end it here, is that they like so there's a way to go back and reset everything up until like the day before or whatever, something like that, the day before the tsunami happens, and they could change it, and that at the end of the episode they're gonna press this button or something similar to that, and it's supposed to reset it, and then next season would start like season one, but just with all different like the characters having different appeals and different attitudes because it was a full reset
oh, okay.
and they can mimic season one with season three, and that would be the
Okay.
the plan there, and that's how you get your characters back, and you get your Links and your Annies and your stories with whoever Gary, and you could keep people going that way.
Yeah.
Jane, anybody we lost in the show, we can get back, and then have them, in the shows, the president, his kid, all these things.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot there's so many questions.
So
That's
we'll
why I
leave
love
it
this
out
show.
there. I don't really have a prediction. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy it. Let's see what Alex is. I'm curious. And that was pretty much it. Do you have any other questions?
No, that was it for mine. So yeah, good to go. I'm gonna do the same thing, watch or sit back and relax and enjoy that last episode of the season because it's gonna be quite a while before we get a third season. I mean, obviously they're working on it, but it takes time to do all the post-production stuff. So
A lot of people have been saying that, yeah, like, there's 9 episodes left, but after this episode, we're gonna have a long time before the next episode, especially because they only have one season left. They might really, take their time and get it right, and really, it might be a long wait. So we definitely have something to think about in the off season. We'll definitely be back here next week discussing this, figuring
definitely.
everything out little by little, breaking it down. Is my girlfriend still alive, Jane, or is
That's what
she gone for good?
that's what I was thinking too. I was gonna ask, do you think your girlfriend's still alive?
I jinxed her. I jinxed her bad. Once I mentioned that she was cool and she was perfect for a guy like me. They killed her. However, we also did not see her officially die. I mean, they tried to show you her laying down, bleeding out, but
Yep.
you just see a scenario somewhere where she just comes out of nowhere and makes a big move at the end somehow, one way or the other.
I agree.
Or
I
that
don't
was
think
the
she's
point.
dead. I don't think she's dead, even if the quote unquote reset happens. I still think she didn't die yet. But
Well, that's my point. Like, so first of all, she's trained with, we've seen she has extensive training and shit. So she, whatever she can do, she can do. And now maybe, yeah, maybe she's gone for good and maybe she's dead. We never see her again.
yeah,
Or
I mean,
maybe she is not dead. And like I said, she patched herself up and did some crazy shit. Or maybe, yeah, there's a reset or there's something happens where there's another decision made or like, they change something
yep.
but let's not forget Don did get the message that a killer will be born, and it was supposedly Jane,
hmm
and that she needs to be stopped when it matters most. So was she stopped when it mattered most, or not yet?
I don't think it's mattered yet. I
So
don't see
who's
her
she gonna
being dead yet.
kill? Is she gonna kill Sinatra?
Possibly.
Is
I
she?
mean, we saw her trying to pose as Sinatra in the episode before with the hair thing. And I'm proud of you, Jane.
So here's another crazy theory before we go for real. Link is about to make it to the bunker to hurt Sinatra. Jane comes out of nowhere, all bandaged up, kills Link, and Alex and Link needed to be connected in order for their anything they were going to do to work, and Jane ruins
Ah.
it by trying to protect Sinatra.
But in turn, if she does kill Link or Dylan, Sinatra's going to kill her too. Kill
You,
Jane.
that's what I'm saying. This is
Yep.
where maybe she they always supposed to get to this part, but Jane's not supposed to kill Dylan at this moment, and Jane kills Dylan, and this is the part
Yeah.
where she needs to, and then maybe Dom comes out of nowhere and goes, Circuit City's still around, bitch.
Yeah.
And on that note, so many shows, so many shows.com, so many mashups. This was Mike and Pete Paradise season 2, episode 7. And I mean, I think we went a while, but who cares?
Yeah.
Good
Good
talk.
show to talk about.
Yes, sir. See you next week for the finale.
Yes. Talk to you on the next one and have a great week, everybody.
Later.